What is going on, guys? One more here, bringing guys a brand new video. And today's video, we're going to kind of do another behind the scenes video of my song, Maybe You Know, in this music video. And we're going to talk about the color grading aspect. This is going to be a more nitty gritty video, getting into the real meat of the editing process. But it's a process that I really love, I really enjoy, and I'm really proud of. So I wanted to share that with you guys, so you guys can kind of see the process I went through. Now, am I a pro color grader? No, I'm mostly self-taught. I learned a little bit back in film school, but I didn't think I was going to be a color grader, so I didn't really, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't the thing I really focused in on. But over the past few years, I've really taken a lot of time to really try to better my skills, and over the last few months, it's become a big thing. I do it every day now. I work with color grading, and every project is different, so the way I did this project is a little bit simpler than maybe another project I'll do. I really had to get into some real nitty-gritty stuff with camera settings in DaVinci, because we're going to be using DaVinci. I know, Adobe Premiere is the standard. I can't stand Adobe Premiere, and I will down that hill. DaVinci does everything Adobe can. There's a few things. The only thing that Adobe does so much better than DaVinci, in my opinion, that it's like, I will agree it clears, is media linking. When you link the media, like if you move something to a different folder, it's easier to retrieve it in Adobe. Yeah, I'm going to jump into the color grading process behind my music video, because as you guys can tell, I'm going to milk this song and music video for everything it's worth, because I love it. And you see on the TV, there's a little demo right here. That's the uncolored. This is the colored. So now we're going to load up the project file, which is already loaded up here in DaVinci, and you guys will see the process behind the music video. I'm actually going to mute, I think, the song here, because we don't need that right now. So here you're seeing the shot, beautiful color. See this little button right here? Now, usually I do this in a dual screen where this screen has it too, but because I'm screen recording and it makes it easier for you guys to see it in this YouTube video, I am going to do it here on one screen. So this is a little bit out of the ordinary for my process, but I just want to kind of make it easier for you guys. You can see all the footage here. We shot on the red Komodo, which is a beautiful camera. The color space is absolutely astonishing. It shoots in 6K, native 6K, so this was a lot of footage. We shot about 2 hours. It's not 2 hours worth of footage. It's a decent amount. I would say maybe about 40 minutes-ish of footage, and it totaled about 500 gigabytes. So be ready for that if you're working with red, but you will see that the color space is very intuitive. There's a lot of detail that the camera picks up, and there's a couple things I'm going to talk about as we get into this that you should know if you are going to work with a red camera. This is some things you want to learn, but these things also apply to any other camera that shoots in their own native log or native log, because it's really cool. Whether it's Sony, whether it's Canon, whether it's Nikon, any type of camera, as long as you have the log footage, there's some really cool stuff that I didn't really know about until about a month ago. The DP on this music video pointed it out to me, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna hit this little button here. There, look at that. That is what it looks like as an uncolored music video. It's really boring. And the crazy thing is, the people who don't know anything about filmmaking, they look at this and it looks like, oh, that looks terrible. And it's like, yes, but it has more, there's more color information in these shots than you have when you shoot in color, right? So when you shoot on your phone, you get some pretty colors, but there's a lot more color information that your phone is not picking up because you're not shooting in log. So obviously we shot in law because that's how we do it. I've been doing that since film school. So, we have all these alternating shots. Now, one thing that we did that was really interesting was we shot in reverse. We shot the ending back to the beginning because we had natural lighting. We were shooting at Virginia Beach oceanfront. And with that, we wanted to tell the story of my character leaving this, choosing in this world, he's choosing love over fame. And he's slowly tearing away all the pieces that come with fame, and as we go through that story, it gets brighter. So you're going to notice when I talk about the color grading that it starts off pretty dark, and then it gradually gets lighter, and by the end we have what I call the Miami color. There's nothing that I'm using to base that off of. It just, when I think of Miami, I kind of think like golden sky. The beaches are nice and beautiful. The trees are so green. The water is blue. Like, in my mind, when I think of Miami, that's what I think, and just really bright colors. So that was kind of the mentality I had here editing this video. I edited this video all in one day. I got the footage, brought it back here, and I edited from 2 to 11 p.m. that night, and the music video was done. But yeah, you do get these shots that interject early on where you do get that Miami look. That's our actress Jordan, who played the love interest in the music video. But yeah, so this is like my character on the stairwell. He's dreaming about all these interactions. Now, fun story, she was actually not supposed to be in the music video until the last shot, that shot where I finish the chorus and I say, one day we will see this through, maybe you know. That was the only time she was supposed to be in the video. We had some cuts that I needed to make, especially in this stairwell scene from different shots. And I was like, well, how do I cover this up? Because it was supposed to be meant as like a one take, even though we didn't shoot it as a one take. It was supposed to be presented that way. And then I just kind of came with this idea in the process of editing where, I say, remember my character is envisioning all the different ways this meeting could go because we had so much B-roll. Because credit to my DP, he let the camera just roll on set. So that's where the behind the scenes video came from. I didn't intentionally say, hey, let's shoot for behind the scenes. Just kind of let the camera roll. And I was able to pull a whole 20-minute video out of it, which was awesome. And I love it. I cherish that footage because you get to see a lot of the behind the scenes of me directing and just a lot of fun moments we had in between shots. But if you watch that, a lot of us just bantering on set made it into the video for these scenes between my character and Jordan's character, because that helped tell the story of my character saying he's going through these fame moments of meeting fans, dealing with paparazzi, signing autographs, playing in the stairwell, which is supposed to like, and I'm kind of giving you all the details here because it's been out for a few weeks, so I can kind of talk about the nitty gritty. Playing in the stairwell is meant to represent like feeling trapped in this world of, hey, I'm doing music, but I don't feel fulfilled. I feel trapped in by the end. You're in this big open spot with the beach, and it's like, oh, he's found his purpose. So that's kind of like a little storytelling throughout the setting too, not just with the lighting and the actual song and stuff. We also do storytelling with the set, which is really awesome, and I'm really proud of. So, all that said, let's jump into it. Like I said, cover up cuts, it kind of worked. Like this shot right here, that's just us like leaving set, going back to our base camp. And that was just me walking. We were just talking about the shots that we shot. And I said, you know what? This is like a version where he kind of chickens out. He kind of walks away. He just like, I couldn't do it. So kind of bringing that reality where he also sees the reality where he doesn't. And then after that is when he gets up. I thought that was indirectly a really cool storytelling point. And I'm really proud of that moment I was able to pull out the edit. So now I showed you all this, so I'm going to recreate these shots over here because I'm not going to recolor the video. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this actually as a new project. We're going to just save for YouTube. Yeah, all right, cool. So let's edit one of my favorite shots from the music video, because I think this shot is just so beautiful. With the color information the red picks up in this shot is phenomenal. So this is one of my favorite ones. It's when I'm getting up at the beginning of the final chorus, you know, the big moment, kind of the champion moment. And I really love the DP really getting in my face with it, because you're really feeling just intimacy. You're seeing my face, you're seeing the expression, the excitement. I think it's really cool. A really cool visual here with Neptune and Hilton in the background. So what we do here. All right, let's go to our coloring page. This is really weird because now I'm doing one screen. Anyway, so everything I do, I create a node. The way we were taught in film school is every idea should be a node, because if you ever do something coloring and you want to take it away, but you don't want to completely undo what you just did, like everything, you can create a node. So if there's one thing like, actually, I don't like that, you can take that out, but everything else that you worked on stays the same. So that's something that's really important. Now, first thing I do, some people will adjust like saturation and stuff before they do this. I don't. I like to see what I'm working with before I mess with the saturation or the ISO. So I'll go here to my LUTs. We shot on res, so we're also going to use the log to Rec 709 LUT. So you get like this, and you're like, it still doesn't look much better. Just give me a second. Now, one thing about the red camera is you do not manually adjust the ISO on the camera. You can adjust to a certain extent how much light you're allowing into the camera and that, and you can throw on LUTs in camera so you can kind of see what it's going to be picking up. That's what we did. We had some display LUTs, but you really can't. But the cool thing is the red Komodo gathers so much information in this color sensor that you can actually change the ISO in DaVinci. So I'm going to change my decode setting to clip, and you see the ISO thing light up. Now, for different shots, especially like shots earlier in the music video where it's supposed to be darker, I would lower the ISO because it makes it darker. See, look at that. See all that color information that came through immediately? But that's, 800, if we're shooting like really bright, if we're shooting like really dark and we want to get some more color information, we could do that. Obviously, we don't need that. We shot on a pretty bright day. So, I think I usually hovered around the 640 for this music video. That was kind of my sweet spot. A little under the regular exposure. So then what I like to do now is I go to my RGB, because that's your three native colors when you're working with cameras. And my general rule of thumb, especially when I'm working with my Sony a7 IV, and also just another thing about the red LUT, I use the red LUT on a lot of different cameras. Sony is kind of hard. You really got to be careful with Sony. But Canon footage, there's a lot of Canon LUTs. I don't love the Canon LUTs. They work. You can really play with the saturation and the contrast and the camera settings and be able to pull something really cool. But if you want something quicker, something that gives you your true native color a little bit sooner, I would throw the red LUT on your camera CRM footage because it works really good, and I highly recommend it. So one thing I do here is I raise all to 2 points. I do this also with iPhone footage. If you load iPhone footage like modern iPhones, but you don't shoot in log, or even if you do shoot in log on iPhone, I usually raise these all up to 2. But I did something different with this music video. All of these I raised to 2, like I said, all the time. But I thought when I raised the blue, it made it just a little too overexposed with the sky. It felt too clean. I didn't like it feeling that clean. It didn't feel like it had much artistic edge to it. It just felt like it was kind of boring, honestly. So then I reeled it back to about 188. And this is what created the Miami look. You see this gold tint that comes over the shot? That is what made this shot look so crisp to me. So then what I go is, you see this little thing I'm hovering around here with the arm right here. I like to take this little curve and just darken it a little bit. That's gonna give me my color. Look at that, the blue, the sky. Look at the sky. The sky is what's amazing. I was showing this to someone the other day who also works with editing and color grading, and they were like, "I'm just enamored by the sky because it is just so beautiful in this shot." And because we had the bright greens, and there's a sign you'll see here in a second that's like bright blue. Now, what was a hiccup? Look at this shot right here. Look at this shot. I'm gonna take that out just so you get a little more information. My face is really red here because it was a cold and very windy day, and it doesn't take much for my face to get red. And you don't want a red face in camera. Now, some shots in the music video, we couldn't escape it. Sometimes you can't. What I do here is I come to this thing. It's called the color warper. Some people call it spider web. You can call it whatever you want. Does what it does. I made a boo-boo. I should have done the red. I should have created another node before I did the RGB adjustments. But, you know, live and learn. So I'm going to create a new node here. Now, sometimes if I'm going to do something to my face, I would use the qualifier tool here. Actually, yeah, I would go to the window, create a curve, create a mask around my face, and then go to the qualifier and my color warper, and I would take away the reds. And I can show you how I would do that, even though I'm not going to do it here. But I would basically build something like this. I'm not going to do it super exact because, like I said, I'm not actually doing it for this video. But I would build something like this, and then I go into my tracker window. I put like a tracker on it so it would track my face, and that's a really long process. I've done it before with a TikTok. It's not fun. It's my last resort to put a tracking mask on something, but because, you know, a simple thing can take you 45 minutes, you know, depending on how much motion there is in the shot. So let's actually take that away. Let's take that away. Don't need that because there's no other reds in the shot. That's where we got lucky here. There's no other reds. So you had the standard color warper here, the chroma warp. I don't love it. I love the hue saturation warp. It's a little bit easier for me to navigate. I think it gives you a little more information. And you see the little white like fog? That's telling you where the colors are coming from. So you see that harsh red right there? That's my face. So what I do is I look at where the white fog is the most, and I'll just reel it back. And look at that. See my face? Look at that. Just like that, I took the red out of my face. Boom, boom, boom. We still got that pretty golden look. And this was our first take of doing the final chorus, and this is me like, look at being so proud. I'm like, man, the time was perfect. We met right when the song ended. And fun fact, you know, if you're wondering where playback was in this shoot, the speaker and my phone were both in my pockets in the screen jacket. So luckily it was kind of a baggy jacket to begin with, so you really couldn't tell. What are some other things I wanted to do here? Now, also, you see, we got some blues here. We got some greens because we had the trees and we had the ocean, and there's some blue in the signs. So one thing I like to do is kind of this oversaturated look that we're rolling with here. I navigate here. You can see where it's like the medium between the blue and the green. So I kind of drag it here, and I'll just slightly drag, because you don't want to make the world unrealistic, but you want to make it artsy. So that just enhanced our blues in the sky a little bit. See, we got a little bit more color information in the sky. especially right there. You know, and this shot actually is not in the music video. It's in the Spotify Canvas and I think a TikTok reel. I think this shot is in that. It's a really cool shot. I just didn't love it for the music video because it kind of reveals her a little sooner than I would have wanted to. But it was a cool idea. Like I said, when we were doing this, it was more about timing. But you see, like, the sign's really beautiful. The little telescope there really pops out. Because we really want the colors to pop. And you see the blue and the street sign right here really pops. The sky is just beautiful. And that's what I love about this shot. And if you want the greens to pop out a little bit more, you know, you can drag the greens, and you see the greens in my jacket really pop out a bit. Pull it here. Get a little more green information. Yeah. That's what I love. And here, you know, it enhances the sky a little bit. There's a little bit more than I did when I actually edited the music video. But, yeah, you see that? You get a lot of good color here with this shot. So that's what I'm really proud of when it comes to this. So now let's go to a shot from the beginning of the video. So one of the last shots we got. Let's see. Let's edit this one. This one is my favorite. Don't do anything. Let's add a node. Then we're going to throw our red LUT on it. Boom. The coloring's beautiful. Then we're going to add another node. And now we're going to go to our RGB. And even though we're not shooting in the beach scene, I still kept that 1.88 level here. It's not wanting to do it. I'll do it manually. Because it gives that gold tint, and you're like, wow, that looks really golden. I know. So we're gonna go to our curve here and do this. There's a lot of red here, so we're gonna take away the red. But obviously, what did we not do? We did not mess with our ISO. So let's go to our ISO. This is supposed to be a darker shot. So I'm pretty sure I still hung around to 640 here because I didn't want to darken my face too much. Yeah, so you can mess with the color temp. You can do it. I don't really do it too much here. For this shot, we can do a little bit here, kind of neutralizes some of that really harsh gold that we were having. Tint, I'm really careful with tint. Tint is it can get very finicky, and then you can mess with your exposure here. So, yeah. Cool. And when I'm doing that, I'll do that all in one node. And I'll take my face away. Leave a little. Sometimes if your face is naturally red, my face naturally has a little bit of a red tone to it. You do want to leave some of it. You just don't want it to feel like, whoa, that's really red. But also we had the guitar that kind of gives off this red look, so you don't want to do that too much. So I just want to leave a little bit, just a little bit of the red, nothing too crazy, and then you get this shot right here. Look at that. You still get the color to pop on the guitar while removing the harsh red from my face. You get that kind of dirty green, kind of dirty look of the walls, which I think is really pretty because the music video ends so beautifully. I just think that's such a really interesting transition we go through from beginning to end. So that's kind of the story of editing the music video, and I really didn't do anything different for the scenes where it kind of takes place in between this and the final scene. It's kind of the same exact way. Like I said, we were playing with natural lighting too, so the sun was setting, so I was just playing with what we had. It was all the same. But yeah, that's a little bit insight into how I color grade a music video. If there's any like professional color graders that are watching this video and stumbled on this, I'm sorry. And if you have any tips, I would love to hear from you guys because I'm constantly improving. I'm trying to always get better. We got 4 more music videos this year, so I got a lot more of this. And also I do this every day just in general for other projects and work and stuff. So I'm always color grading here in DaVinci. So any tips you guys have out there that you think would be better, or maybe something that I'm not seeing, let me know. Let me know, because I'm not too cocky to be like, oh, I know everything. I do not. I really do not, and I am all ears. So this video is as much as me showing my process, as also as a kind of reach out networking opportunity for other color graders out there to kind of give me your process, your ideas, and what you think I could have improved on here. Maybe watch the music video, come back to this video, and comment some thoughts you have. I'm all ears. I'm all open to it. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe. You know, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Make sure that bell button down below so every single time I upload a brand new video to the channel. Make sure you go check out the music video for Maybe You Know here on the YouTube channel, and also the song wherever you listen to your music. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. My name is Morris, and I'm out. Peace. Maybe you know my heart is ready.